Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful morning. Sorry if my post today is a little late. Having some internet issues and Wi-Fi issues, and I'm sure you're aware of that being maybe the issue in your house as well. All right, so I want to start out with this quote my daughter has been saying. I want everyone to be kind and shine bright. Um, Hope you guys were successful yesterday. I printed out one of my successful jobs. Holly, nice work. Your creation should have created a car. I want to have a quick conversation. A couple of you reached out to me yesterday wondering if our lessons are voluntary, if they're not mandatory. All lessons we do, all assignments we do are graded, and they're going to go on your report card. The raffle I'm doing, if you would not like to be in that raffle and you do not want your name in that raffle, that is totally up to you. But yes, all these lessons, these assignments are graded. All right, a couple things I want to talk to you guys about before we get started on today's lesson. It'll only take about 2 minutes. Throughout the year, Mr. Berman would always have, periodic, let's sit down and talk sessions. And I think we need to have one today. And this talk is for, I would say, about 40% of you. I've noticed over the past 2 weeks that many of you are handing in assignments and your work, I'm sorry, is incorrect. Yesterday kind of hit a point where I felt like I needed to have a sit-down talk with most of you. A lot of you handed in your work and it didn't look like this one here. It was all over the place, points, lines drawn everywhere. I have no idea what it was, and you would comment at the bottom saying, Mr. Berman, I didn't know what I was doing, but here it is. And I want to just kind of reiterate some of the things that we talked about this year about being proud of yourself and respecting yourself and others. As an example, when I go to work, I make sure that my clothes are ironed. I make sure that I've washed up, and I made sure that my lesson for you is 100% the best I can give you. And then I'm around the rest of the day if you ever need me. I am in the hallways giving you my very best to make sure everybody is safe. And if anyone's upset about something, I can go out and get them and make sure I can help them as soon as possible. I give you 100% of me. Your parents in their jobs are expected to give 100% of them. I've got to be honest. If you're going to hand in things to your teachers, or you're going to do work for your parents, or you're going to do anything in your life, you've got to be proud of it. You've got to be proud of yourself. And I would never come to school with my pajamas on and my hair all messy and without brushing my teeth. And my principal would come to me and say, Mr. Berman, what are you doing? And I'd say, sorry, the best I could do. And that wouldn't be acceptable. So from now on, there are so many things you can do if you don't get something. You can send me a message, say, Mr. Berman, I need some help. I will help you. You can reach out to parents and friends. You can go online, Google, YouTube, and you can figure out how to do something. Please do not just throw things together, hand them in, and feel like that is your assignment. You did your job. Your job is not just to write things down on a piece of paper and hand it in. Your job is to be proud of yourself. And the only way you will be proud of yourself is when you do your best. And again, I just needed 3 minutes to kind of go over that. I am proud of most of you, but a lot of you, I think, need to kind of, check yourself and see where you're at. Okay, good job. If you did hand in your assignment yesterday and it was correct, I put your name in a hat, and at the end of the year, I get to pick a bunch of you guys and hand out a bunch of raffles. So nice job to everybody who made a car yesterday. All right, so let's get started on today's lesson. Today we're going to find the distance between points on a coordinate plane. All right, so before we do that, let's just practice plotting points. Some of you did struggle with that, and I want to make sure you guys are good at it. So let's start. We have our horizontal line axis. That's called our x-axis. Go ahead and label it. And we have our vertical. It's called the y-axis. I remember it's y because the line on the y goes up and down, and so doesn't the y-axis. All right, let's start. Find that heart. What coordinate is that heart at? That heart, if we start at the origin, what we always do, 0, 0, we always learn that babies learn to crawl before they climb. So your first number in your coordinates will be the number that you crawl. So it looks like we're crawling to the right, 3. That is your first number. Once we get to positive 3, we're climbing up positive 3. The heart is at 3, 3. Pretty basic. Let's do another one. Let's do the lightning rod. So let's start at the origin. Looks like we're going to the right. We're crawling to 3. And then we're climbing down the ladder to -5. Would you guys pause this video for a second and just label these 3? Go ahead and pause me now. Good luck. Talk to you in a second. All right, there are your answers, everybody. I hope you guys were successful. So basically, that was a quick review of what we were doing yesterday, plotting coordinates on a coordinate plane. Today, let's find the distance between 2 points. Let's find the distance. So basically, all you need to do are one of 2 things. You can use what we call the absolute value, which I taught you last week, and we'll go over that now, or we can just do a second thing, which I'll show you in a second. So first and foremost, if I want to find the distance between the circle and the triangle, I just have to figure out, well, how many points is it away from each other? So what I like to do is I like to take the absolute value. It's always a positive. And I like to take, well, let's see, the triangle's on the 3 and the circle's on the 7. So let's subtract those 2 and take the absolute value. It's 7 minus 3. That's 4. The absolute value of 4, it's always a positive, right, is 4. So the distance between the circle and the triangle are 4 units. Pretty basic. Pretty basic. All right, let's try the lightning bolt and the heart. So I set up my absolute value symbols, and I say, okay, let's see the distance between these 2 points right here. So it looks like the heart is at 3, and the lightning bolt is at -5. Okay, so if I go 3 minus a -5, what do I get? I would suggest using calculators right now just because we haven't used integer subtractions with negatives. So I would hit 3 minus a -5 in your calculator. We'll talk about integers later on, probably the last week of school. But if you do that, you get 8, believe it or not. Because if you have 3 and you're subtracting a -5, you're actually doing the opposite. You're actually adding 5. But again, let the calculator do the work for now until we get to it. The absolute value is 8. So the distance between these two is 8 units. Now, a lot of my 6th graders say, hey, Berman, there's an easier way to do this. You could just merely jump to the next point. So if you're going from the heart to the lightning bolt, you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I think a lot of you just smiled and said, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'll do this later on. So let's find the distance between this and the lightning rod. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Not bad, right? So pretty basic. You could try a practice one with the triangle to the heart if you'd like and get that. Well, your work, your classwork, your virtual homework, whatever you guys call it these days, is Pirate Pete's Coordinate Plane Challenge Homework. That's a mouthful. All right, so I created this last year. What I want you guys to do is follow the directions to see, can you get Pirate Pete his buried treasure? Without your help, he may never find it. So answer the questions to unlock the treasures. So I think you're going to enjoy it. It'll take about 5 minutes, and you guys are free of math for a Tuesday. All right, so do me a favor. Think about what I said earlier in this video. If you're some of those kids who always give me their best, I want you to forget about that discussion, like I always say. But be respectful of yourself, be proud of yourself, and prove to everybody how amazing you are. Don't just hand in stuff that you are not proud of. Have a wonderful Tuesday, everybody.